And welcome back to the dark side. You're here with a man named Jack and wife Strawberry. Say howdy.
Hello. I'm not gonna say howdy.
I was about to say, that's not howdy. I give you very clear instructions. You see what I have to live with?
I am disobedient. You're gonna have to get over it.
My response for that is not PG rated. Anyways, moving right along.
Okay.
Moving right along, more Epic the Musical, because we're going to do all of it, and if you're not noticing a trend by now, then look at the past 8 videos on the channel. There's going to be more.
Look at this stuff.
Isn't it neat? Anyways, today we are checking out Himena, I believe is how you pronounce that. If I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize, but
This is they are one of my favorite animators, animatics, whatever you want to call them. Absolutely splendid artists. Probably most famous for Hot Odysseus.
Hot Odysseus. There's a lot of love for Hot Odysseus in this house, but yeah, about all I had to say. He's like, don't worry about this. I've got an idea.
Yeah, do you just... I know this is Poseidon's thing, right? Is the storm.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine just Poseidon be like, you know what? You know what I'm in the mood for? You know what's gonna show this bitch that I'm in business right now?
What?
Splash fight! Yay! Splash! I'm gonna get to Odysseus! Splash! Sploosh!
Anyways.
These waves and tides have grown in strength and size. Is it nature or divine or a blessing in disguise? Our homes inside, this storm's our final fight.
It's not your final fight, but that's cute. I'm happy that you think that.
But that's the thing is, they've got food. They don't need to make landfall. All they have to do is sail at this point. So they pretty realistically think that they just gotta sail home. As a bad storm, but once you weather it. Also, I do like it's easy to, since there have been 2 songs or a song and a half since then, this is basically immediately after they blind the Cyclops. They blind him, they set out to sail, and very quickly a storm besets upon them. Poseidon did not waste any time bringing his wrath to their door.
Correct. I don't know if I'll have a lot to say on this song or even this animatic, but one thing I want to say before I forget is that I love how dark it is. That it feels like a storm. It feels so dismal.
Which is the thing, if you're not aware of how you do naval sailing in this age, when a storm comes, you put out all of the lanterns, so there's no man-made light, and the storm is blocking out, the moon, the stars, the sun sometimes even. If a storm is happening at night, it is pitch black. Like, there is no light at all whatsoever unless you dare to light a lantern, but if that breaks and your ship catches on fire, you're just hosed. So, yeah, it's very dark, but intentionally dark, and we love it.
There's no time to die, comrades! Sir. Brace for a storm!
Which, again, as far as, like, small animation bits go, them all snapping to attention, that's, like, it takes a lot of time and effort to draw out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different people in the 2 poses just for that snap to attention. It's good. It's attention to detail. It's good stuff.
Extremely talented, and there is a reason why they are one of my favorites.
Other
Other than Hot Odysseus.
And especially, like, him in the distance, the little slightly simplified chibi face, very cute. We love.
Brace for a storm! The likes of which we've never seen before. Brace for a storm! With hope so close. close, we must keep pushing forward. Full speed ahead.
So again, one of the neat things about just the crew carrying the vocals, it is all of them united in their focus, all of them collectively just trying to survive the storm.
One thing that makes this song so special is it's the song that comes before luck runs out. This is all of them united.
From here on out, there's always going to be some kind of strife or discontent, and that's...
or disagreement within the dynamic between the crew and poor Odysseus. But I'm always 100% on Odysseus' side, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's fighting against Athena.
Towards the island, but avoid the crashing waves. Tread where the tide is flat, and then you will be safe. Captain, we will capsize with these waves, our fleet will fail. Have them follow my ship, all ensure that we prevail. Stop.
So I do love Odysseus right here, or not Odysseus, Eurylochus is bringing up, okay, like, instead of necessarily always being the voice of reason, he is be like, okay, but what about this? We have to also think about this. And this is the very few times where Eurylochus is actually also on the men's side, in my opinion.
Eurylochus is kind of always on the side of the crew. Like, he is literally and figuratively the voice of the crew.
He is, but no, this is a selfish fucking bitch. I can't stand this man. But this is why I point out this is one of the few times where it feels like he is pointing out, well, we also have to think of the rest of the crew and the other people that are behind us.
So I'm actually gonna disagree with that selfish line.
I said, do you wanna fight me? Do you wanna catch his hands?
Yeah, you can say what you want about his character, but I kind of like to generalize his character as being the entirety of the crew, because as we touched on in a previous song, he is the second in command, he is the voice of the crew to the captain. So when it comes up in the Circe saga that he says we should cut our losses and run, that is not Eurylochus alone saying that, no, we need to get the F out of here. That is also the rest of the crew sharing that sentiment of, we can't.
I would disagree because within that song, he went to Odysseus first. He hasn't spoken to the rest of the crew who don't know what's going on. They've all been on the beach with Odysseus at that point.
A little bit of suspension of disbelief. He is.
Is it, or is that exactly what happens in Puppeteer?
So is he literally speaking for the crew? No. But is he still saying thoughts that are on their minds?
He does speak for the betterment of the crew. But there's still people he's willing to leave behind, and that was a good chunk of people that almost got left behind in Puppeteer. Like, we can talk about it more when we get there, but I'm gonna stick to my laurels on this one that Eurylochus is a bitch, but I appreciate him right here. So, again, fuck Eurylochus. Like, he is the voice of just constant pessimism. Like, he is very half glass empty. Even though there's water everywhere, fill your glass, Eurylochus. There's plenty of rain coming from the sky, probably, since you're in a storm. But he's just like, ugh, we're gonna die. Why are we even bothering? Odysseus is like, calm down, actually. We're fine.
But so again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for Eurylochus as often as it takes, but he is bringing to Odysseus's attention the fact that a lot of the ships are damaged. He's not everywhere. He can't see everything. So is he the voice of pessimism? Maybe, but part of his job is to make sure that Odysseus is aware of all of the problems. Because Odysseus doesn't have perfect 360-degree vision. So does it make him seem like a bit of a downer? Yes, but that means he's doing his job well, so that... Because if Odysseus doesn't know about a problem, he can't solve it. So
I guess, but it's also that conversation we had in Full Speed Ahead where he's too much of an extreme.
He is a lot of the time, but
it's just like, okay, Captain, we are taking on too much water. We might capsize. Instead of, Captain, we're fucking dying.
Captain, we're dying.
Help me, please. I got splooshed.
Is that what this arc is?
Yeah.
Dying. Save me, Captain.
Eurylacus just wants a smooch. He wants the attention.
Dying.
He's such a damsel in distress.
Kiss me.
I wish Odysseus... Look at Odysseus in just the frame after. He's like, shut
Kiss.
Yeah, that one. Just look at his face.
He's like, you're fine.
Bruh.
Like,
Oh, that's Odysseus. Okay.
yeah, it's just like, that little glare is the cutest thing.
He's like, you got wet. Get up. You're not made of sugar. That was Polites. He would have melted. You're made of licorice. You're gonna be okay.
I can go twice as high.
You always pause too late.
Well, I wanted to pause on a frame that had the island in view because I wanted to talk about it.
Too bad.
Okay, well, what do you need?
I just want to talk about Ximena. Ximena. You know what you did. You know what you did.
What, make him hot?
Yes, look at him. Sexy.
How can I compete with him?
You can't. Anyway, moving on.
Thanks.
I love you.
Anyways, what I was going to say...
Well, I wanted to get the frame back.
Okay. So, fun bit of trivia confirmed by Jay that in the Odyssey, this is described as a floating island, which is in a naturally occurring phenomenon. There are islands, terrestrial islands that float in the sense that they are not connected to bedrock or the ocean floor. It is just a mass of wood and dirt and roots that floats and kind of drifts. And so in the original story, that's kind of what it's believed to be intended by that line, is just an island floating on the sea. But Jay read that and said, you know what, if this is the home of the wind god, it would be like a floating island up in the sky.
Well,
right?
I think the version of the story that we heard about that is that it was just a mistake, that he literally thought it was a floating island.
Which makes sense, because when you read the next line, it's like, oh, it's the home of the wind god. Yeah, of course it's going to be up in the sky. Of course, where else would it be?
I mean, I think this is so cute. This is another one of those things where it's just like, I hope floating islands are always considered to be literally floating islands. Because that's so much fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Like luckily this was a mistake that just works out for the story.
And that's the thing is, Jay is fully willing to rewrite the original lore a little bit for the sake of a good story. Don't go Google what Polites' role was in the original Odyssey. It's apparently quite grim.
As many as you can find. What do you have in mind? We're gonna shoot for the sky.
Look at him!
He's so adorable right here. He looks a little demonic with the white eyes, but he's also
That's
adorable. Hot. Oh, I love hot demons.
Shoot for the sky.
Mm-hmm. Very Toy Story Woody of him. Shoot for the sky.
What?
What, the musical? Take a shot every time a character is just so baffled that all they can say is, what? And whoever this is like, it's gonna be okay, Eurylacus. Like, trust the captain.
Paramedes, honestly.
Paramedes, like, my man, I know that, the captain frazzles you a little bit. Just let him cook. He hasn't led us astray so far. Let him cook.
Sonny Flowerman here, reporting extreme wind gusts. Yet many local residents refuse to uproot. Dandelions are advised to stay inside until this storm is blown over!
Look at Eurylacus' face right
dead
here.
soon.
Alright, here's
We're
your
dead
harpoon.
soon.
But I'm gonna mute it for a little bit because you can't look at it while it's paused, but I love just the camera shake going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one of those things that I know that art is hard and takes a lot of time and it's complicated and you need a lot of skill for it. And if you're trying to hand draw full animation, like 30 frames per second even, that is a lot. But having said that, there will be a couple of other animatics that do this later. If you, instead of drawing just a whole image, you draw like the different characters on different layers, you can do a little bit of video After Effects, you can have them slide, you can have the whole screen shift a little bit. You can, like with a little tech know-how and some video editing, you can get a lot of movement in, and that really helps get more value out of the time that you spend on the individual stills. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm a big fan of maximizing the economy of effort. It's a great way to stretch the value, you know? Strawberries, just like, we're done with this rant. Okay.
Everyone grab a harpoon and aim it high.
Like
If only they had used all of this aim power to catch fish.
Yeah,
Some people might still be alive.
Because those probably are fishing harpoons, to be perfectly honest. It's probably what they are.
Go eat some dolphins.
But on the subject of maximizing economy, that is the same still copy-pasted 3 times over, and that's totally fine. And again, literally the same shot, just left, right, flipped. You know what? You go for it. That's how you make something like this.
Here's the thing, is that Jimena is one of the few artists who usually have an entire animatic for a whole song. And there are lots of other artists who are amazing, but usually only do snippets of the songs. And I understand why. I understand that doing a full song is hard.
Yeah, it's hard and time consuming, but these are the kind of tricks that you can do to make doing an animatic for the whole song a little bit easier. It's like, I don't care that it's, it's reusing the asset. They're not unique. Nobody actually cares about that. What we care about is thank you very much, Jimena, for doing an animatic for the full song. I appreciate, the intelligent design that you put in to help you get there.
Yeah, it's just like, there's not an existing epic movie right now, but Jimena is one of those artists among Mark C., Wolfie, Britt, Gigi, so many that I can't name right here and now, but it makes it more accessible to people who want to watch it as well and not just listen, because I don't think some people are good at actually visualizing what's going on, and I think half of the fun of the music is being able to visualize what's going on with these emotions and actions.
Like people with aphantasia,
Yes, exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, the music itself is banger. The music I heard long before I saw any animatics, but Jimena was the first one that I saw for a cut song at that made me be like, oh, look at these.
Look at these things. Aren't they neat?
But yes, it's just, thank you so much to any of the animators.
And all of the animators.
All of the animators, but especially Jimena for right now, because this was the animator who made me go back and appreciate the music even more, what got us into the reactors as well. Mortius, Casper, Danny, and a lot of others that we probably haven't seen yet. But Movies in Depth also as well. What made me want to react to these two, because I have a lot of things to say. Which, if you're somehow watching our bottom of the barrel, very low effort react, and you haven't watched all of those other channels already, watch ours instead. Thank you. I mean, well, yeah, watch ours, but also they are all intelligent, funny people. They've got a lot of cool things to say. And do you think they've eaten all the sheep at this point? Probably not yet, because this is like very soon after the Polyphemus saga. They probably still have a lot of sheep, but the sheep are gonna die. But anyway, I just like to think that they're just watching all of this right now, just this man shooting for the sky with his harpoon, being like, anyway. You gonna stab out another eye?
But here's the thing, like, the camera shake here and this just kind of arcing up, that's a still. That is, technically speaking, that is 2 stills that you fired off in sequence with just video editing. Same thing, that is 1 still that you're just pasting across the screen in different directions. That is a great way to get a lot of motion into a piece without necessarily needing to spend hours and hours and hours hand drawing a lot of stills. So, like, big appreciation to Jimena for using more than just art to bring these animations to life. Eurylochus is very much done with Odysseus' bullshit at this point. Odysseus hasn't even been on his bullshit very much, but I like to envision that before Odysseus tried to sell the concept of the Trojan horse to Agamemnon, he went to Eurylochus because he needed his lieutenant on board before he could present the idea to the king. And he's like, okay, Eurylochus, hear me out. I've got an idea. And Eurylochus is just like, oh no, what is it? Hear me out. Okay, so we build a giant wooden horse, and we pretend that we all died of plague or left, and we all hide in the horse, and then they'll bring the horse inside the city gates, and we attack them from the inside. And Eurylochus is just like, you know, if this doesn't work, we'll all be slaughtered, right?
Okay, first of all, you're referencing the movie Troy. That's not canon to the Odyssey.
Okay, but
I understand your point, but I agree with...
The Trojan horse is canon to Troy.
Yes, but it was presented as a surrendering gift.
Yeah.
Anyway, I agree with that, and I'm sure Polites was, like, right-hand man, be like, that's the greatest plan I've ever heard, let's do it. And Odysseus hadn't even gotten 2 syllables out yet. Like, all I said was peanut butter. We're going to hollow out the horse and fill it with peanut butter.
Anyways.
And Agamemnon was like, no, we're going to fill it with people so we can attack. And Odysseus was like, yeah, that's my idea.
Yeah.
Thank you. Peanut butter people.
Yeah, I have my arm. Stop karate chopping my arm.
You were abusing me so much.
No, I love my wife.
I love you too.
Anyways, again, big thank you to Jimena for making something awesome. I don't recall if I liked this yet, did I? How dare I? I meant to do it at the beginning, gotta do it here. If you haven't already, go give a thumbs up to Jimena's Animatic. Incredible stuff. And also, if you've watched this far, don't forget to comment, because if you don't comment, you're not real. Okay, everyone, weigh in. Is that not the cutest sneeze you've ever heard?
Sorry.
She gets mad at me when I make fun of her for sneezing like an adorable gerbil.
Subtitles, a weeb potato, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Weeb Potato, for making the subtitles. I don't know what that means, but... I am also a weeb. If you like Epic the Musical, you're probably also a weeb.
I'm not a weeb. I identify as a potato.